Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Bobby, and this is Bobby Reads Tarot. And I wanted to do a reading looking at Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough. So, Mika and Joe are the hosts of the MSNBC morning show called Morning Joe. They are, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong here, but if I'm not mistaken, they are conservative leaning. So typically more Republican. However, they were not fans of Trump. So they were very critical of Trump during his last presidency. And then leading up to this, or during this election process, they were also really critical of him, and rightly so. And as soon as Trump won, Mika and Joe decided to go down to Mar-a-Lago and meet with Trump. And, they didn't go down and like interview him or ask him hard questions. It was like they went down to capitulate. So after that happened, they came back there and their viewership just plummeted, right? So the network just basically told them, don't say a word, just let it go. So they weren't really addressing it, but their viewership continued to plummet. And recently, sorry, you guys, my dogs, I have been trying to get them to calm down. It's that time of day where they're wrestling and they're being crazy. So if you hear noise in the background that sounds horrific, they're fine, I promise. Anyway, so the last couple days, Joe Scarborough has really been like just going on these rants on air about, how they didn't do anything wrong. And I'm totally paraphrasing, by the way. That's not exactly what he said. But basically just being like really defensive and how like they did what anyone would do. And I mean, just like they're kind of losing it. So, and then there's also, I've heard rumors that there's now fighting between them and Rachel Maddow, who is another MSNBC host. So I want to take a look at just the energy of Mika and Joe. Like, what's going on? Are they okay? Like, did they have to, bow down and kiss the Trump ring? You guys, dogs. Did they have to bow down and kiss the Trump ring? Or like, are they regretting what they did? Are they doubling down on what they did? Like, what's the energy of good old Mika and Joe? As always, my readings are for entertainment purposes only. Once again, entertainment purposes only, you guys. Form your own opinions. Also, I am a human. All humans have biases, okay? I don't let my biases affect the way I interpret the cards. Now, I'll let my biases come through in the things I say about people. Don't get me wrong, okay? I had someone the other day is like, you said you're not biased. I very much am biased. But when I read the cards themselves, when I give you the meanings of the cards, I'm giving you the true meanings. So just know that, okay? The meanings I'm giving you are the factual meanings. The commentary you get on the side is free of charge. That's mine, okay? All right. All right, you guys, let's jump right in. So we have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is all about someone being generous, okay? So the emotion behind this, or like kind of the overarching theme or feeling, is that there's this energy, or people want you to feel this energy of Trump was being so generous to allow them an audience. So of course they're going to go and have, an audience with the president-elect. That's like the way that this is trying to be spun or positioned or whatever. But what's blocking this, or what the challenge is so death reversed is the ending of something. It's the completion of something. I'm wondering if this is going to lead to the end of their show, or the show as we know it. So Comcast, which owns MSNBC, did a spinoff where they are essentially spinning off a lot of their smaller, so MSNBC is one of them, right? So they've spun it off into its own company. They're saying it's not for sale right now, but there's a lot of speculation, and Elon Musk is talking a lot on Twitter about wanting to buy it. So with that being said, MSNBC is in this process of some very big changes. So MSNBC is no longer really going to be MSNBC. There's going to be some kind of a restructure that's going to happen. So whatever's happening to this show, it could be just because that's the direction it was going, but there's going to be some kind of a substantial change, whether it's like the name of the show or they're taken off the air, they go somewhere else to another network, they're given a different time slot. Something is going to change, and it's changing because of the drop in viewers, because Mika and Joe went to Mar-a-Lago to, kiss the ring. The Queen of Pentacles. So this is the energy that they were coming, like, most recently from. They were very much speaking truth to power, right? Prior to this, they were standing up for what was right and what was wrong, and they were very much in Kamala's corner, and they were very much speaking to the values that Kamala would bring as the president of the United States. So were talking about how she would bring security, she would bring more abundance or a better financial situation. She would put others before herself. And so that's where they were coming from, right? But then where they went into was this Ten of Wands energy. And the Ten of Wands energy is all about carrying a massively heavy burden. The actions that they took put them in a position where now they've got to carry this burden. They made this choice, and it came with really, really weighty consequences. And they're feeling that now. And I think Joe is very angry. Mika, I don't know. It's hard for me to get a read on her emotions, but Joe is clearly, he's mad. He's mad that he's getting this reaction, which I don't know why, because he had to have known that this is how people were going to react. Part of me wonders if he was forced down there. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay. So this is, in this position here in the cross, this is what you're actively seeking. Okay. So what Joe and Mika were actively seeking in this whole thing was they wanted to protect themselves from Trump. They were trying to spin it as, we have this opportunity to talk to the president-elect, and it's going to build our relationship with him, and so we're going to be able to provide you with a more robust reporting, and this is what any reporter would do. They were trying to come from like that place, but that wasn't true. They're trying to protect themselves because they said some really harsh things about Trump, and now they're afraid that Trump is going to seek retribution. So they went down there to basically make nice with Trump. What they didn't see coming is the visceral reaction of their viewers. Their viewers like completely just parted. They split. They wanted no more of this partnership, this relationship. As viewers, when you have different shows that you watch that you like, it's, even though those people, you're just watching them on a TV, you build a relationship, especially with people that are presenting, the news. People start to trust those people, even though you shouldn't. You should never trust people. You should always do your own research. Always don't fall victim to trusting people. And this is exactly why right here. Okay. But the viewers trusted Joe and Mika. And then when they saw them just completely do this 180, they didn't like that. And they parted ways. They're like, we can't trust you. We can't trust you anymore because what you said, you didn't mean, you went back on, and therefore we can't trust you. And it's having a massive impact. The energy that they're kind of putting off right now is honestly kind of like end of the world energy. This is like they screwed up. Okay, they have the world reversed. This is about like not completing something, not reaching your goal, things not coming to fruition. And this is very much like they turned their world upside down by doing what they did. They would have been better off perhaps facing Trump's wrath and sticking to their guns and their beliefs, but they didn't do that. And now they have this Eight of Cups reversed, and this is all about abandonment, walking away, having to leave something. This is errors in judgment. So there were major errors in judgment, and their viewership is walking away. And the people at the network that make decisions, they're making decisions as well. And they're looking at this and they're like, do we need to walk away from Morning Joe? So there were a lot of errors in judgment. And I do think that people are going to get like abandoned, hung out to dry. What they were hoping to get out of this was a new beginning with Trump, and essentially being able to save themselves. But they got the absolute opposite of that. Like, they jumped off the cliff and there was no safety net. And now they're having to navigate a situation that, again, I don't know why they didn't see this coming. I feel like they're blindsided by the reactions of people, and I don't understand why. Are they living in that much of a bubble? Like, how could they not know that people would absolutely detest them doing that? The final outcome for them is the Seven of Cups energy. So they very much have decisions to make. And I'm almost wondering if like the energy for that, because with tarot, right? We're reading the energy as it sits right now. So it's Sunday morning. It's, I think, like December, what is it, the 8th? So it's the energy as it is right this moment. And so the energy right now, they may not have made their decision as to what they're going to do. Or there may be a lot of things that are kind of up in the air, a lot of things that are being considered. So I find it really, I don't know. It's interesting to see, like, what are they going to do? How are they going to react to this? How's the network going to react to this? And then is this going to be something where, how is this going to affect other interviewers, other people that are, giving the news? There's so much to this. There's so much that can impact this. And it's a little scary because I don't know, I feel like this could be, part of me is very nervous about what the Trump presidency will do to mainstream media and legacy media, but also, just the propaganda and the news that gets out. I'm very concerned. Kash Patel has already talked about going after people legally, news organizations, things like that. And I feel like this is very much the beginning of, what happened in Nazi Germany, where the news was censored, and then it pretty much became, state news. Well, it became propaganda. We see the same thing today in Russia. Their media is all state-run media. They're not getting actual news. They're getting what Putin decides to put out. And I very much am afraid that we are going to go to this place in the U.S. where that's where we're going to be, where it's going to be only the news that, Trump and his minions want to get out. And that news is terrifying because it's not news, it's not. Okay, so let's look at the future energy for Joe and Mika. What is their future energy going to be? I really feel like this is kind of just the end for them. Like, I don't feel like it's the end, like they're done with media, I don't feel like that. I mean, because those people never really go away. I mean, look at, people are still on the air that shouldn't be, but I think it's the end of Morning Joe, and they're going to have to be like repackaged, remarketed, and put somewhere else. Okay, so let's see here. I want to do the first 3 cards for Mika, the second 3 cards for Joe. Okay, I want to look at them separately. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of what I wondered. I see them separating. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're together. They're like a part, like a relationship. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure that they're together. So, Mika, I feel like she's worked really, really hard and she hasn't ever really gotten anywhere. I feel like she's always just kind of been like, people have assumed she's gotten where she is because of Joe. she's not, her opinion isn't valued. She's not given credit. But I do see that there's going to be some kind of justice for her, which I don't think she's a great, orator or like news presenter. So, I mean, it's not like she's, I don't know. But I do think she's going to get some justice, and I do think she's going to be able to strike out on her own. I think she's going to have some kind of a project where she can um, do something different, and it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a project she's really passionate about, or it's going to be her getting involved with another man and that being her next way into her next position. My gut says we're leaning on the man, but with a Knight of Cups, it can be a passion project as well. So she very much could just lean into a different project that has nothing to do with a man, that just has to do with something she's really passionate about. Okay. Joe is really, he's going to struggle. This 10 of Swords, this is all about like feeling betrayed. This is being like gutted. This is someone who, it's like dead end choices. It's being defeated, and it's a very dramatic ending, but it's going to lead him to this 3 of Wands energy. The 3 of Wands energy is all about creativity. So he's going to come out of this debacle with the opportunity to do something really, really creative. He's going to be able to take a new plan, set a new plan into action. However, I don't think it's going to be the best plan. I think it's going to be a plan that he doesn't think out all the way. It's going to be kind of like he's just not going to fully think it out. There's going to be issues or faults with it, or problems, and I think it's going to just kind of be plagued with problems from the start. So I don't see things going as well for Joe. I feel like Mika's going to be fine, but again, she's going to use other things to keep her fine. Joe, this is the beginning of him just getting like more and more pissed off and bitter and angry. And I think what he's going to do, this is just my opinion, okay? This isn't in the cards. This is, now you're getting biased, okay? Now you're getting opinion. I think what he's going to do is, instead of getting pissed at like MAGA and Trump and his decision, I think he's going to double down and get more pissed at the liberal base that he was catering to prior to this. And he's going to go more extreme. He's going to go more extreme to the right. Yeah, I think we're going to see him get really, really angry and just kind of start to crack a little bit. So anyway, if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up on your way out. Also, if you're curious to know what decks I'm using, go to the description box down below, and inside the description box is a link to my website. On my website, you can find every single deck I use right there. There's pictures, there's links to where you can buy it. Easy peasy. Also, in the description box down below is a little link if you want to join my members club. I do members only live readings at least once a month. My next one is coming up next Saturday, December 16th. I have a post on my YouTube channel that gives the time, okay? But I do those members only live readings, and they are where you get to ask your questions and I pull tarot cards for you. So if you're interested in that, the information is in the description box. And finally, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's really easy. You can just click that little circle right there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.